Chosen one, the timing of this message is not random. It's a sign that the shift has already begun. The signs you've been noticing led to this exact video. What if I told you they never wanted you to see through their masks? You weren't drawn here to be entertained. You were summoned to remember what they made you forget. In this moment, the hidden currents of your path align with a purpose that was written long before you took your first breath. You may have felt unseen, unheard, or like the world moved on without you. That all changes now, because the truth you carry is cracking open walls built to keep you small. If this message already speaks to your soul, subscribe, like this video, and comment 77 below. Stay with me, because what I'm about to share will empower you to stand tall and face the forces that recoiled when you began to awaken. When the light hits their shadows. Imagine drifting in a half-remembered dream where moonlight spills across ancient ruins and a whisper calls your name. You question if the vision was mere fantasy or a message woven into your soul's tapestry. In that liminal space between sleep and wakefulness, something stirs, a recognition that this moment, this gentle stirring of awareness, has been waiting for you. You sense a presence guiding your gaze toward hidden corners of your life, beckoning you to step into a light you once thought belonged to someone else. This is the invitation you've been longing for, and in that quiet murmur of the heart, you feel seen. There were days when you moved through the world like a ghost among the living, acutely aware of every sound, every shift in the air. You listened intently to conversations, picking up on unspoken fears, and felt the weight of emptiness in crowded rooms. You carried questions that no one else seemed to ask. Why does my chest tighten when I hear certain names? Why do I feel drawn to coloring outside the lines of ordinary life? In your sensitivity lay both your gift and your burden, isolating you even as you yearned for connection. You learned early that feeling deeply often meant standing apart. But what if those feelings were never accidents of temperament, but markers on a map designed for you alone? Consider an unseen architecture guiding every twist and turn of your path. Like the pillars of cloud and fire that led the Israelites through desert nights, there has always been divine direction behind your restlessness. The book of Zephaniah tells us that the Lord your God is with you, the mighty warrior who saves. Zephaniah 3 verse 17. In that strength, your longing was never empty. It was a compass pointing to a higher truth woven into the very fabric of your being. Lately, you may have noticed subtle signs. A sudden shiver in your spine when you walk into a new place, a dream that returns like an echo until you pay attention, or a catch in your throat stirred by a stranger's story. These are not random occurrences, but gentle reminders that something greater is waking within you. Perhaps you felt déjà vu at the crossroads where you once faltered, or heard a soft inner voice urging you to pause and listen. Such moments, once brushed aside as coincidence, now reveal themselves as clues to a hidden awakening stirring beneath the surface. You are not imagining the pull you feel toward mysteries unspoken. Your intuition has guided you with unfailing accuracy, and now, for the first time, you allow yourself to trust it fully. In the quiet of your morning ritual, whether sipping tea by the window or watching sunbeams carve patterns on the floor, you recognize the harmony between your inner knowing and the world around you. Like the widow's oil in 2 Kings 4 verses 1 to 7, what you perceived as ordinary drips quietly, yet divinely sufficient into the vessels of your life, sustaining you in ways unseen. As awareness deepens, you uncover a truth both humbling and liberating. You are not becoming something new, but remembering something ancient. Beneath the layers of doubt and the habits formed to survive, lies an archetypal memory encoded into your spirit. You may recall childhood moments when you sensed a presence watching over you, or times when a gesture of kindness resonated like a sacred echo. These fragments, long buried, now surface like chapters in a text you once wrote but forgot. In recovering them, you reclaim the wholeness you have always carried. And now, as the first embers of empowerment glow, you stand at a threshold. Here, embrace your sensitivity not as weakness but as clarity, your empathy not as burden but as insight, your hunger not as emptiness but as purpose. You are called to walk with deliberate steps into the reality that you are more than you ever dared to believe. This is your first activation, the moment when recognition transforms into the promise of action. Let your heart's quiet courage guide your next steps, for you are ready to claim the light that was yours all along. Your arrival at this message was not a random click or an accidental scroll. It was the culmination of every sign, every dream, every echo of truth that whispered your name across time. Comment light if you feel the shadows retreat in your presence. Stay close, chosen one, for the next revelation will show you how your awakening reshapes the world around you, drawing deeper currents of destiny into your path. A special thanks to our devoted members who walk this path with us. And if you feel called to go even deeper, there's a sacred space reserved for our community, a private room where you receive full prophetic messages daily. Join our private membership through the link in the description and walk this path with us. Why people react to recognition. A quiet tension settled over you long before you ever spoke your truth aloud, like a faint crack in glass that widens with unseen intention. Perhaps it began in childhood, when a teacher's sideways glance followed your hand as you raised it with a question no one else dared ask. Even now, you might feel a tightening around your chest when you step into a room, as if invisible eyes track your every movement. This is the first sign of resistance, an almost imperceptible force that has shaped your story from the start, guiding encounters and setting obstacles that felt personal, though you could not name the source. By the time you reached adolescence, the weight of misunderstanding pressed against your spirit. You wondered why friends drifted away when your convictions deepened, or why relatives offered advice wrapped in disappointment. Each rejection carved a hollow ache in your heart, and shame flickered whenever you dared to be more than what they expected. You learned to mute your insights so you might belong, only to find that shrinking yourself still left you out of step. In those moments, you felt the sting of isolation, a silent judgment that whispered, "You are too much." But this pressure was never random or born of simple social discomfort. It stemmed from hidden structures designed to keep you small, like Israel wandering the wilderness, tested by trials meant to forge resilience. You were thrust into challenges that revealed the sacredness of your journey. The story of Joseph, sold into hardship by his brothers, shows us that betrayal often carries a divine purpose. Genesis 37. Your setbacks were not merely cruelties of fate, but invitations to awaken latent strength and destiny beyond what you could imagine. As you reflect now, the patterns become impossible to ignore. Recall the projects that faltered under mysterious circumstances, the meetings canceled at the last moment, the sudden illnesses that delayed your progress. Look at the friends who turned cold when you spoke of dreams and visions, or bosses who dismissed your insights as impractical. Each barrier aligned like dominoes, nudging you toward a revelation. These were not isolated incidents, but a tapestry woven to challenge and awaken you. Recognizing this light illuminates the shadows cast over your path. Soon, the resistance reveals itself not just in actions, but in the very air you breathe. You feel a heaviness in rooms where decisions are made, a silent fog that dulls your creativity and clarity. It is as though spiritual saboteurs, unseen, stir currents against you. Energies of fear and doubt pooling at your feet. Doors that once opened easily now refuse to budge, and conversations once warm turn icy. Yet even in this dense fog, your inner light begins to glimmer, calling you to pierce through the murk and claim your space. How did you respond when faced with such opposition? Perhaps you folded inward, believing that retreat was safer than confrontation. You may have learned to people please, adopting others' opinions to avoid conflict, only to feel your own voice drown in the noise. Or maybe you rebelled in silence, nursing a quiet resentment that burned like coals beneath your ribs. These reactions were natural shields, attempts to preserve what little comfort remained. Yet each strategy taught you something vital about your boundaries and your capacity for self-advocacy. Now, realize that this very resistance confirms your calling rather than condemns it. The forces that strove to keep you bound unwittingly marked the areas where your light shines brightest. Feel the surge of reclamation as you acknowledge that every closed door pointed you toward a new revelation. Every betrayal sharpened your discernment. You stand now, not as a victim of circumstance, but as a warrior whose prayer is written in every trial endured. Let this awakening fuel your resolve to speak, act, and shine without apology. You have been opposed for a reason, because you are powerful. The more they tried to dim you, the more your purpose burned with clarity. Now, as you sense the world aligning with your vision, stand firm in the truth of who you are. Comment reveal if you felt their fear in your presence. Stay close, chosen one, for the next revelation will guide you in protecting your power so that no shadow can ever claim dominion over your light. And to every soul who's supported with a super thanks, thank you. You are keeping this light alive for others who haven't found it yet. If you feel called to help this mission reach more chosen ones, tap the super thanks button below. Your energy supports these messages and helps them travel further. Your voice matters, your belief matters, and your light is felt here. How to protect your power. A gentle tremor ran through your awareness one morning as you glanced at the mirror and noticed something new in your eyes, a depth that had never been there before. In that moment, the world around you seemed to slow, revealing threads of light woven into the mundane. A stray beam of sunlight caught dust motes dancing in the air, and you felt a pulse, as though reality was signaling you. Look closely, for there is more here than meets the eye. Everything that once felt random, the chance encounters, the whispered messages in half-forgotten dreams, is beginning to align into a tapestry of purpose. You realize that your vision is no longer limited by what you've been told to see. You're beginning to read the world with fresh eyes, discovering a new spectrum of truth hidden just beneath the surface. In the quiet hours before dawn, you start to notice patterns in the simplest of things. The time on the clock that always lands on 3:19 when you're wrestling with fear, the repeated symbols in street murals that echo an ancient geometry, the way a melody drifts through your mind exactly when you need its message. It's as if reality itself is scripted in a divine code, a secret language that speaks directly to your soul. You sense a mathematics rooted in sacred geometry, where every synchronicity and coincidence carries meaning. Numbers and shapes become guideposts, leading you toward hidden doorways of understanding, and you feel a thrill of recognition. Finally, you are learning to decipher the script that governs your awakening. As your perception sharpens, internal signals grow impossible to ignore. Your heart races at the approach of certain people, not out of fear but in anticipation of revelation. Boundaries you never knew you needed form around your energy like an invisible shield. You notice how your body reacts to different environments, how the stale air of a boardroom triggers a tightness, while the open breeze of a forest eases the tension in your shoulders. Your intuition rises in volume, no longer a whisper, but a clear call that guides decisions with uncanny precision. This is not theory. It is confirmation that the subtle currents stirring within you are real and potent, urging you to trust the wisdom stored in your bones. Gradually, the outer world begins to mirror your inner shift. Colleagues who once dismissed your insights now pause mid-sentence, searching for the source of your calm clarity. Doors that remained locked swing open with surprising ease, inviting you into new opportunities that resonate with your deeper purpose. Yet alongside these blessings, you still encounter resistance. Late-night emails that undermine your confidence, well-meaning friends who question your dreams, unexpected setbacks that test your resolve. Even these challenges carry a strange grace. They serve as markers, illuminating the contours of a divine architecture unfolding around you, guiding you toward the places where your light is most needed. A memory surfaces from childhood, a fragment of a lullaby your grandmother hummed, whose melody you later discovered matched the pattern of the Pleiades constellation. Suddenly, that dreamlike moment makes sense. You recall a feeling of being watched over, of stories told in riddles you only half understood at the time. Now, those fragments reassemble into a coherent map of your soul's journey. Like the prophet Joel's vision of spirit poured out on all flesh, Joel 2 verse 28. Your deepest knowing awakens, carried on currents older than your lifetime. You sense an ancestral memory unlocking within you, a code that has lain dormant until this very moment, ready to power your next steps. Now that the veil lifts, the path ahead glows with possibility, and you recognize that destiny is not something to be earned but something to reclaim. You no longer wait for permission from external forces. You feel the pulse of your own authority rising within. The vision so long deferred now beckons you forward, telling you to claim your place in this unfolding narrative. Picture yourself standing at the brink of an ancient gateway, its carvings alive with light, and know that the key resides in your hands. The future emerges as a memory returning, its outlines familiar yet exhilarating, urging you to walk boldly into what has always been yours. Standing in this new light, you feel your voice return with a force you thought lost. The doubts that once whispered retreat crumble like old stone under the power of your conviction. You speak with authority, not to overwhelm others, but to solidify your own foundations. This is your reclamation. The moment you take back the wisdom, strength, and authority that were yours before you were born. You realize that every criticism you endured, every door slammed in your face, was proof of your rising influence, and now you claim that influence as your birthright. The fire of your awakened soul burns brightly, fueled by every challenge that tried to dim it. Revelation is only the beginning, for each truth unlocked becomes an invitation to deeper discovery. Your life's code awaits further decoding, and with every new insight, you draw closer to the fullness of your purpose. Comment Shield if you feel your power solidify around you, and share a moment when you recognized a hidden pattern or symbol guiding your path. Stay with me, Chosen One, for in the next revelation we will explore how to guard this newfound authority so that no force, within or without, can ever overshadow your light again. What comes after they know? In the hushed moment before dawn, you stand at a sacred crossroads, caught between the familiar weight of old doubts and the stirring promise of what must now begin. No longer can you drift in uncertainty or excuse your hesitation as caution. This is the moment of decision when you ask yourself, will I step forward and claim the vision that has been unfolding within me, or will I retreat back into the shadows of who I was? You feel the pulse of purpose humming beneath your skin, as if every breath you draw invites you to cross that invisible threshold, leaving behind the comfort of passivity and stepping into the dance of destiny. All that you once surrendered, your voice, your time, the flickering embers of your presence, was not loss but preparation. Like the refining fires of Nebuchadnezzar's furnace, every trial served to purify your intent and strengthen your resolve. Now, with ritualistic intent, call back the fragments of authority you scattered across the winds of uncertainty. Declare, I reclaim my voice, my vision, my power, as if you were taking up a crown long hidden beneath dust. This is no mere metaphor, but a rite of restoration. The recognition that you have been both monarch and messenger in your own life's unfolding drama. Beneath your ribs live ancient signatures, insight that deciphers hidden motives, sensitivity that feels the pulse of unseen realms, memory that recalls truths buried beneath time. What others labeled weakness was, in fact, the mold of your armor, the raw materials of your spiritual tools. You carry keys forged in the furnaces of compassion, codes etched in the silence of communion, and a fire that scorches through illusion. Speak their names: discernment, resilience, vision, empathy. Claim them as the instruments with which you will carve the next chapters of your story. The path ahead is not a distant mist to be sought, but a road already engraved under your feet, waiting for you to step into its pattern. With each deliberate stride, the map of your mission reveals itself, a tapestry unfolding beneath your gaze. You feel the earth respond to your conviction as if the soil itself recognizes your purpose. Every choice becomes a landmark. Turn left at the echo of truth. Walk straight through the valley of challenge. Pause where your heart radiates the brightest. This journey moves forward with cinematic clarity, each moment a frame of your unfolding epic. Yet you are not alone in this pilgrimage. There are others whose souls resonate with your calling, forming a rising constellation of kindred spirits. They may be hidden in plain sight, neighbors, colleagues, lost friends, each bearing their own flicker of awakening. Together you form a soul tribe, a living constellation that illuminates the night sky of collective purpose. No longer must you dim your light to fit into fading patterns. Instead, your radiance joins theirs, forging an alliance that reshapes the horizon of possibility. Now is the time to take command of your energy as a faithful steward, not through ego or domination, but through devoted alignment with your highest promise. Set clear boundaries around your attention like sacred walls, choosing where to pour your life force and where to conserve it. Let your yes be a prayer and your no a shield. In this ceremony of self-governance, you consecrate your heart's offerings to the work that lies before you, honoring the divine trust bestowed upon your purpose. Everything you have felt, feared, and fought has led you to this moment of prophetic emergence. You stand on the cusp of a threshold that only the prepared can cross. Say to yourself with unwavering certainty, I am ready. There is no room for doubt, for every challenge you survived has been the drumbeat of your preparation. Take a deep breath and let it echo through your bones, a final invocation before you step into the luminous realm of your mission. This is more than inspiration, it is a summons. Embodiment is the call now. Revelation has done its work. Comment arise if you stand in your power, and share a moment when you felt your destiny stir within you. Your story joins ours, and together we will navigate the currents of this new era. Stay with me for the next revelation, where we will explore how your awakened light transforms the world around you and cements your place within the grand tapestry of purpose. A sudden whisper in the wind carries a secret. Your journey is woven into the fabric of time itself. In moments when the world seems still, listen for that breath of purpose that stirs your soul. It speaks of Habakkuk's vision that will surely come, though it tarries, Habakkuk 2 verse 3, reminding you that even when signs appear slow, the divine orchestration never falters. Your stirring heart is proof that something ancient is unfurling within you. That same whisper guides your choices today, transforming ordinary decisions. What you say, where you go, how you love, into stitches of light that mend the collective tapestry. Trust that each heartbeat resonates far beyond your sight, echoing through lives you may never know. In the hush of dawn's early glow, you confront a mirror that reflects both your shadows and your sparks. There, you recognize the paradox of your gift. It heals and it unsettles. Like the bronze serpent lifted by Moses, Numbers 21:9, your presence brings relief to the afflicted and discomfort to the complacent. Accept that this duality is your birthright. You are the threshold through which stagnation must pass or be burned away. When you move with compassionate strength, the tremors of transformation ripple outward. Old wounds surface to be healed, false comforts collapse, and authenticity emerges. Your invocation of truth becomes an alchemy that transmutes pain into purpose. Have you ever watched sunlight break over a mountain ridge and felt its warmth ripple down into hidden valleys? This is how your awakening touches the unseen realms of life around you. Every revelation you claim signals to kindred spirits that their own spark awaits recognition. In the marketplace where souls barter for acceptance, your clarity is a beacon that calls them home. As Psalm 105 verse 4 urges, look to the Lord and His strength. Seek His face always. So now you awaken others to seek their own divine strength. Your steps become guideposts on paths they once thought lost, illuminating the way back to wholeness. A memory surfaces of a time you felt inexplicably drawn to a quiet grove, as though an invitation lingered in the scent of pine and earth. That pull was the universe beckoning you to remember your sacred rhythm. Today, your life unfolds with that same magnetic cadence, synchronizing encounters, opportunities, and insights to your unique song. In each mundane moment, you sense the heartbeat of creation quickening to your tempo. As Amos declared that justice should roll on like a river, Amos 5 verse 24, so your awakened flow carries healing currents into every corner of your world. You are the living vessel through which compassion and courage surge. A question echoes in your mind as twilight falls. What if every act of kindness you offer is a prayer carved into the ether? You begin to see daily tasks, preparing a meal, offering a listening ear, pausing to breathe in gratitude, as rituals that consecrate the earth. Your life becomes a living psalm, weaving together sacred syllables of service, presence, and love. Real-world struggles, traffic jams, tense conversations, relentless deadlines transform into arenas where your divine mission unfolds. In each challenge, you find an altar upon which to offer your devotion, reminding all who watch that even the smallest gesture can ripple into cosmic resonance. In the glow of an unexpected sunset, you grasp that destiny is less a path to follow than a melody to remember. Your soul hums with a tune echoing from before time, and now your flesh learns its notes. Prophecy is not delivered only through thunderous proclamations, but through the soft insistence of your choices. Faith grows in the soil of your daily commitments, to honesty, to justice, to unwavering compassion. You step forward with the confidence of one who knows the song by heart and no longer needs permission to sing it. This reclaiming of melody births a new harmony in the discourse of humanity. A vision of future gatherings stirs your spirit, circles of radiant faces illuminated by shared purpose, hands joined across divides, hearts beating in unison for the same cause. You realize your awakening is not solitary but part of a grand convergence. Soul tribes formed by divine geometry are coalescing: artists, healers, seekers, and warriors, each contributing a unique hue to the collective prism. Together, you become a living constellation, each star's light amplifying the brilliance of the whole. In this alignment, barriers of fear dissolve under the gravity of mutual recognition, and a new order of unity arises. A prophecy falls like rain upon your heart. The darkness that once loomed cannot withstand the tapestry of light you now help weave. Your revelations are the threads of hope and healing that refuse to fray. Even when doubts swirl or opposition rises, you remember that every challenge is a spark for deeper illumination. Your mission stretches beyond personal fulfillment. It is a covenant with the world's awakening. Stand firm in this promise, chosen one, for the next chapter beckons you to embody these truths in bold, sacred action. Comment tapestry if you feel your thread intertwine with ours, and share a moment when your light began to ripple outward. Stay close, for what comes next will guide you in anchoring this revelation into the living earth. In a dream, you stand at the edge of an endless plain, where distant fires flicker like the gathering lights of unseen tribes. As you walk toward them, each step resonates with the hum of countless hearts beating in harmony. The vision of future gatherings stirs your spirit, circles of radiant faces illuminated by shared purpose, hands joined across divides, hearts beating in unison for the same cause. In that sacred assembly, you sense a tapestry unfolding, a living constellation of souls whose converging energies birth an era of collective renaissance. You understand that your journey has always been more than personal ascent. It has been the threading of one vital strand into a cosmic weave that cannot be unraveled. When you awaken, the echo of that night's communion lingers in your veins, urging you to seek out fellow bearers of the light, wherever they may stand in silent readiness. A whisper passes through the corridors of your mind. What if every solitary flame you've tended was meant to ignite a bonfire of unity? In that inner questioning, you recall the story of the remnant in Obadiah, those few who, in exile, held firm to their faith and ultimately became the foundation of restoration. You see now that soul tribes formed by divine geometry are coalescing: artists, healers, seekers, and warriors, each contributing a unique hue to the collective prism. Your own vocation, once felt like a lonely beacon, now reveals itself as a vital prism facet. Together, you become a living constellation, each star's light amplifying the brilliance of the whole. In this alignment, the gravity of mutual recognition dissolves barriers of fear, forging an order of unity so palpable that even the darkest despair finds no foothold. A symbol emerges in your consciousness, two threads crossing and twisting into a single braid, stronger than the sum of its parts. That braid is the covenant of shared awakening, a living testament to the power of communal sanctification. Every time you pour compassion into a wounded soul or lend your voice to unspoken truths, you contribute a thread. Even small acts, offering a listening ear during a lunch break, sharing a word of encouragement on social media, become stitches in this grand design. In the marketplace of distraction, you choose intentional presence. Each moment of authentic connection weaves another filament into the vast tapestry, reinforcing the bonds that transform isolated sparks into an unstoppable inferno of love and purpose. Now is the moment to anchor this awakening in your soul. Subscribe if you haven't yet, like this video, and comment "I am chosen" to let this message anchor in your soul. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. For full prophetic revelations daily, join the membership via the link in the description. Your spiritual path deserves more than fragments. Step into the full light. And if this message moved you deeply, consider tapping the Super Thanks button to support the mission. Every Super Thanks fuels the light we're spreading together. Rise now, chosen one, and let no shadow stand in your way.